Hi Stampers, it's Madeline from stampwithmadeline.stampinup.net, and today we're going to make this adorable spinner card with the Lift Me Up stamp set that's from the New Occasions catalog. So look at this. Here is our card, and we arm it like I just showed you, and then when someone opens it, it's like the hot air balloon is flying. This is also a three-dimensional card because as you can see, the balloon has this up part, but when you mail it, you can always flatten it down. So this is just a really fun, simple card that I know everyone will love to get in the mail. So let's get started. For this card, you don't need too much materials. So what you'll need is an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of paper the long ways. So when you cut your 8.5 by 11 paper in half, you want to do it the up and down way, so it's like a hot dog cut. Then you're going to want a piece of Watermelon Wonder, and you want this to cover the whole front of the card. So this is going to be 5.5 by 4.25. Then with the Occasions catalog, there's the Sale-a-bration catalog where every $50 you spend, you get something for free from the Sale-a-bration. So this is one of those free items, and you should grab it up. It is my favorite paper, and let me tell you, with my order, I got like 4 of these because I did not want to run out. So this is the Lift Me Up designer series paper that goes with this stamp set, and it's only available in the Sale-a-bration catalog. So every $50 you spend, you get this as your free item. So this is going to be 4 by 5 because I want it to still show some of that Watermelon Wonder, and as you can tell, that's one of the colors in this is that Watermelon Wonder, so it really coordinates very nicely. You will also need a long piece of Watermelon Wonder or a short piece. Let me show you, this is cut, but what I did is I just made a strip that was 2 inches by the length of the paper. So then you can use it to cut out your hot air balloons, which I'll show you in a second. Okay, so our first step in this is we want to cut out this center ring. So let me show you how we're going to do that. First, what you want to do is you want to take the designer series paper by itself. And you want to use, I'm using the Layering Circles Stampin' Up set. So this has like the cloud version of them and the circles. I got these awesome magnetic plates at Stamp and Storage, which you should definitely look at if you haven't gotten to yet. And this is great because it sticks right away. You don't have to worry about the adhesive getting less sticky. This is really the way to go, I think. So what I'm doing is I'm using the biggest cloud version of this, and we'll also be using the second to largest circle of this. So that again is the Layering Circles, which is on sale until January 3rd for only, I think, $17, which is huge. And that's not something, I don't think that's going anywhere. So that is a huge savings that I would jump on now. So we're going to be using this largest cloud-like circle, and you want to center it on this. So you want to center it on this designer series paper, and you're going to put it through your Big Shot. So let's go do that. Okay, so we are back, and see that gives you that nice clean cut on this. Now, this is going to be the most difficult part of the card, so just follow with me for a second. So what you want to do is you want to fold this in half. So this will be the long way, and just flatten it down. Now, open it back up. You just want that crease there. Now, this is going to be the last part of cutting, and you want to line up this, the Watermelon Wonder, exactly the way you want it on this card. Then you want to line up your designer series paper right in the middle of that, okay? So that there's an equal amount showing on both sides. Now, what you want to do is you want some of that Watermelon Wonder to show through when you have your hot air balloon. So you want to put this circle where you think it's even, where there'll be a little bit of cloud-like Watermelon Wonder around the circle. So line it up where you want, and so right now you can tell it's kind of hard to keep everything where it is, but all you need is a Post-it note. So I would use 2 Post-it notes. Once you get it in the place that you want it, you want to get 2 Post-it notes that'll keep everything where you want it. And I might even use 3 because I want the Watermelon Wonder to stick to the Whisper White in the background here. So I used 3 Post-it notes. And just make sure it's fully down. This will make it so easy for you to be able to put it through the Big Shot and not worry about any movement. All right, so I'm going to put this through the Big Shot just like this, and we'll be right back. Okay, and we are back. Now you're going to lift up these Post-it notes very carefully so it doesn't rip anything, because we really did push them down very hard. You're going to take the circle off, and voila, look at this. pops right out so that when you set up this card, you'll have that nice little circle that is protruding. So it really makes everything come together. And if you look very closely, you'll be able to line it up the way that you want. Okay, now we're going to set this aside just for a second, and we're going to work on that hot air balloon. Now, the hot air balloons are going to get cut out of this Up and Away Thinlets. Now, this is it. You want to use the second, there's a small balloon and then there's a larger one, and we're going to use a larger one. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that thin piece of paper that we had. So this is 11.5 by 2. We just cut the length of the paper and did it by 2 so you could just fit the balloons on here. So you're going to take this biggest balloon and you're going to set it here and you're going to make it go through the big shot. So you're going to want 3 balloons for this. So once you cut out 3 balloons, the next step is this. Once you have these, we are going to stamp on them. So in the Lift Me Up stamp set, you'll see that there's coordinating balloons for those thinlets that we talked about. So here's the larger one and the smaller one. So let's get the larger one out and we're going to do these stamps. I'm also going to do the Thanks for Lifting Me Up sentiment. So we're going to keep that out because we're going to be using that later. Okay, so these are the clear rubber stamps. You need a large clear block in order to stamp this. Now, in order to get these to stick, you really need to put some pressure on the stamp to make it so it sticks right. It gets that static cling. And if you don't put adequate enough pressure on it, it will not stick to your clear block. So just really push and rotate around to get it to stick. I'm going to be using the Archival Basic Black for this. All right, so I would recommend doing this on a piece of scrap paper. So that way, if you stamp outside the lines, it won't get on your work surface or your card. Okay, so we're going to be stamping right on this Watermelon Wonder cutout of the large hot air balloon. So you're just going to tap, tap, tap on this basic black archival ink pad. Really get it inked up nicely. Now, you want to line this up with your paper. And what's nice about these clear stamps is you really can line up, and it's okay if you get a little bit off. Line up, press down. There we are. And it's okay if it's a little bit off. Don't worry about it. All right, now we're going to do our second one. Great. And now our last one. There we go. All right, and then clean off your stamp. Okay, now that we have, let's do our sentiment just so that we can put the ink away. So what you're going to do is you're going to use a leftover of your long paper that you use for the balloon. So there'll be a little bit left over. You want to just hand cut out a little strip that'll fit this. Okay, so let me show you. So using that paper, I just cut out a small strip that'll fit my sentiment, and that's all you need. So what I'm going to do is just make little banners on the ends here, just so it looks nice and neat. All I'm doing is making a snip down the center, and then I go in diagonal on both sides to make that little banner. There is a big punch that you could use for this, but you could do it by hand as well. So there's our banner. Okay, so this is going to have that Thanks for Lifting Me Up on it. So again, firmly press on it with your clear block. We're going to use basic black again, so just tap, tap, tap on that basic black. Center it on here. Press down. There we go. Look at that. Nice and easy. Okay, so that's it for our stamping. So we can put our basic black away. Now, what you want to, you can put your sentiment aside as well. What we're doing with these balloons is we're actually going to be folding them in half. So on this ink side, you're going to be folding it in half. 2 of them, not all 3. Just fold it down the center. Make sure it has a nice score line on it. You could use a bone folder if you want, or even a scoring tool to get it down the center. But I think you can just maneuver it to make it so that it'll fold down the center. All right. It's okay if it's a little off. Make sure it's nice and creased. Okay, so now we have 2 balloons that are creased and 1 that is not. Now, we're going, for me, I like using the tear and tape, and this is something you can get right on my website as well. And we're going to need to glue these balloons together. But in order to make it a spinner card, we're going to need to add some string in the middle of this. So this is some Whisper White string that has some silver accents on it. You just need a little bit. So we will only need about 4 inches of this. And it's okay to make an estimate. It doesn't need to be exact. You can always snip off the excess. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put tear and tape down the one that isn't creased. So just kind of eyeball it, figure out how much tear and tape you need, put it down the center. Now this is for your string to stick to. All right, so we're going to lay this down in the center. Put even amounts of string on the up and top, or up and bottom of this tear and tape balloon. Okay, there we go. The string is a little bit even on both sides here. Now, for these fold in half balloons, you're going to put tear and tape on both the top parts of one. Okay, so put some here. And some here. All right, now you're going to push down really well and then rip off this paper. And then you're going to put it together with this other one. So just line it up, press down. You want that crease to be pretty even when you put them together. Now you want to put one more piece of tear and tape on the side that's missing it, on the balloon. I had a little bit hanging over the top. You can just fold that down. So now you're going to take these 2 sticky sides, line it up with your balloon that is not creased. Make sure it's nice and center. There we are. There is our 3-dimensional balloon. Isn't that cool? I just love it. It's so cute. Okay, so now what we're going to do is actually putting together this card. So you're going to take your Whisper White piece of paper that's already nicely folded in half. You want to center this balloon in the center of the circle here. Now, you could use tear and tape for this as well. So just take little pieces, again, eyeball it to make it so that it'll stick. Now, if you have a little extra, that's fine. Just rip it, and like I'll put it right next to it so it adds a little bit more tape to it. And then all you have to do is press down firmly and then rip up the paper. Same thing right here. There we go. Okay, now do the same thing at the bottom. Now, center your balloon again in the circle with the flat side down. Put the string down. Make sure it's nice and tight. You want the string to be tight so that later when you're trying to turn the balloon, it will be nice and tight and not very loose. Okay, now you're going to use adhesive and you're going to put down the paper. So again, you could use tear and tape for this as well. So just put it down on the card, get it to where you want it, rip off. Same on this side. So you could be using glue sticks for this. You could be using any kind of adhesive that you want. This, I'm just using tear and tape cuts right here. Okay, so again, you're pushing down on this paper and then you're lifting up the paper that will reveal the tape underneath. It's very important to press down first before you try to tear off the paper, because if you don't, it's hard to get this paper off the tape. There we go. Now, you want to center this so that you're not seeing any white underneath the circle. Okay, so now that it's nicely centered, you now want to put this over top. So you're just going to center this on the Watermelon Wonder. So this is that Lift Me Up DSP that you can get in the Sale-a-bration catalog. For every $50 you spend, you get a free item, which is just amazing. Best time of year to be shopping. So again, I'm just adding more tear and tape to this, pushing it down really well so that you can easily get that paper up. And it is very sticky, so just be careful that you don't get stuck to it and the paper rip. Okay, so again, firmly press down. And rip up. Okay, so now we're going to center this on this Watermelon Wonder. Okay, so when you're done with that, you can see if any corners might need some more tear and tape on them, and you can easily add some. So like this is coming up a little bit, so I just want to put a little tiny piece in there. So you can just slip it under, press it firmly down, rip up the paper, and press down. Now, as you can see, there are a little bit of strings that are hanging from the top and bottom. So this is where you could trim these off very easily. And it is hidden. And that's why I love this card. There's like a little bit of magic to it. Because some people don't, they don't realize what's hidden. And as you can tell, if some string is stubborn and won't cut, you can just tuck it right underneath. And it won't be seen. All right, so this is where we're going to bring that sentiment back out. So I'm going to place it right in the center here. Now there's only one more step after this. Now, when you cut the DSP with the cloud-like circle, we keep that excess. So here it is. So we kept that. We want to put that here so that it looks like the paper continues in the back. So my trick for this is to line it up with this circle. So we want the balloon to be upright, and then just make it so it is covering the circle. Check it before you do anything, and then you want to put some tear and tape on this. So make sure the balloon is flattened so that you can put some tear and tape on this. And you really only need one piece. You don't need too much. Okay, and then you're going to slowly close the back while you're putting pressure on the front so it stays where you want it to. And there we are. There is our three-dimensional Lift Me Up card. So you have plenty of room in here to write. You could put a different color paper in here if you wanted to. But I just love this card. So again, this is how you arm a spinner card. Is you just move this balloon all the way till it's tight. And you would mail it with the flat end down, and then you'd kind of tuck this three-dimensional part closed because it'll still pop up. If you crease it really well, it'll pop up when they receive the letter in the mail. So then when they open it, it turns like a balloon. And I just think this is an easy card, but that has so much magic behind it because people won't realize that you can do that with a card. All right, so that is the Lift Me Up card today. So the Occasions catalog has the Lift Me Up in wood stamps or clear rubber stamps. So I got the rubber stamps, and it's really much easier to store them like this. So this starts, the Occasions catalog starts January 4th. So you can start ordering January 4th. If you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator and send you a catalog, so please reach out to me. There's also the Up and Away Thinlets that match with this Lift Me Up stamp set, and you get a discount. So if you order these together, you get 10% off, and that's the best way to order these because I promise you that if you get the Lift Me Up stamp set, later on you will want the Thinlets. This balloon is so much fun. It has so much detail, and all of these mostly coordinate with the stamps. So you really need both, and it's a great investment. So again, with the stamp set comes that DSP paper, the Lift Me Up DSP that comes only in the Sale-a-bration catalog. So it has some gorgeous paper in it. Let me show you the rest of the papers that are in that. So this is the DSP that is in the Sale-a-bration catalog, and it's actually called the Carried Away Designer Series paper. I misspoke. So this has some great papers in it. Let me show you. It has this, clouds, all these little balloons, little pink balloons. There's that Watermelon Wonder again. Dots. I love this one with all the balloons, just so pretty. And there's 2 sheets of each in this. So here's that paper we used. And then we're back to the beginning. So it is definitely worth it to get that Carried Away Designer Series paper. Sorry, I misspoke on that earlier. And that'll make it so you can really tie a card together with the matching cardstock to the DSP, to the stamp set, and to the Thinlets. So lots of fun stuff with this card. So again, January 4th, you can start shopping. So please reach out to me, leave me comments, subscribe to my channel so you can get lots of more fun videos that are on the way from this occasions catalog. It's a really exciting time. So for now, stampers, keep stamping. Bye.